Hello, hello everybody. Beautiful morning. It's what time is it? 7:48 a.m. Let's see if this gate's gonna open for me before we get started in here. It worked. Sometimes this gate doesn't like to open. It's 7:48 a.m. and I am headed into work. So this is my work commute, and it usually takes maybe 35 minutes, something like that. If you watched my last video, I had the Trek FX3, which is a great bike, but it's not this bike, and the commute took a little longer. But this is my new car. So I sold my car, and I'm using this bike now. It's a 2023 Trek Domane AL5. So I guess the AL5 is like their not entry level, but it's like, I think they have like the 3, the 5, the 7, something like that. So it's maybe like a mid-level. But it is a Domane Plus, which means it is the e-bike, kinda. It's like a pedal assist. I guess you would consider that an e-bike, but I'll give you guys a look at it here. It is in red. You can see it. It's a red Trek Domane. And I've been using this for the last 4 or 5 months. So this has kind of been my commuter slash really my everything bike. I run all my errands with it. I ride to work with it. Kind of does a little bit of everything. I like I said in the beginning, I did sell my car, and that's because I work from home now, and my wife also has a car, and I found that I never used my car. My car's sat in the driveway 80% of the time, untouched, and I was paying for insurance and all the other stuff that comes with owning a vehicle, like, you know, maintenance and gas and insurance and cleaning it and everything else that comes with it. But I'm just gonna go ahead and cross here. And plus the used vehicle market is absolutely insane right now. So we didn't need a second car, and that car was selling for a lot of money for what I comparatively thought it was worth. So I don't know, I may end up with another car here in the future, but we'll see. But anyway, first thing I wanted to mention was, if you guys are interested in this bike, or if it's something, or if it's a bike you've been looking into, I'm happy to do like a full video on it if you guys want to see that. And the reason I say that is because when I was going to purchase this bike, there was almost no info out there on it. I couldn't find, I mean, they had like obviously the promotional videos from Trek, and then I saw a couple of videos from like shops, you know, that were selling the bike. But ultimately there was there's very little information out there about the thing. To give you an idea, it's an e-bike, so it weighs a little more than a traditional road bike. And in this case, I want to say this bike is 28 or 29 pounds, probably, with all the little attachments on it, maybe 30 pounds is safe to say. It's got 3 assist modes, level 1, level 2, level 3. I actually like the level 1 and level 2 modes the best. Very rare that I'm ever in that level 3 mode, unless I'm just running an errand or going somewhere and I really don't want to pedal my bike. And in that case, I'll throw it to level 3. Sky over. I hate this part of the ride because I'm really just on kind of a busy road. This is Shalford Road, by the way, in Chattanooga. I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and while downtown is relatively bike friendly, I I will say the Hamilton Place area, or this area that I'm in, it's not necessarily the most bike-friendly area. And that's not really due to the people, but mostly due to the roads. Sidewalks, I try and ride on those as much as I can, but I will say these sidewalks around here are so bad. I don't know if this is illegal or not, but I'm gonna do it. I think it's probably legal enough. But anyway, so yeah, 3 levels on the bike. Level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1, the best way to describe it, I guess I'll start with the range. I want to say level 1's probably, you might get like 40 miles of range or something like that. And I would say the assist, I'm going to get to the bottom of this hill first because it's windy. The best way to describe the assist on level 1 is almost like a, I imagine it like a really light road bike. Before this, I had like a Felt, I think it was like a 2017 model or something, Felt FR20 or FR30, something like that. It was a relatively light road bike. I don't think it was carbon fiber or anything, but I want to say it was maybe 18 pounds or something like that. I could be a little off there. But level 1 on this bike feels like that. It gives you enough assist to where it really just feels like you're riding a really nice, really light road bike, and does a little more heavy lifting on the hills. Level 2 is a bump up from that, so I like to think of level 2 like I'm still pedaling my bike, I'm still going to get a little bit of a workout in, but on my 30 or 40 minute commute, I'm not going to be drenched in sweat by the time I get to the office. So, and I still get plenty of range. I want to say you probably get like 25, 30 miles or something like that on level 2, possibly more. I need to look at the stats on it, but it's definitely enough. But it's been a great bike. Like I said, I've had it for probably 5 months now. I'm not 100% sure. Probably 5 or 6 months. I've put maybe 600, 700 miles on it. I've had no issues out of it, at least out of the e-bike system itself. It's a nice truck. So the e-bike system itself on this is a new system that Trek has partnered with, I think, a brand called Hyena. And it is a rear hub system, so it's not the e-bike system built into the crank. It is in the rear hub, which I think traditionally is more of an entry-level e-bike thing. Most of your high-end e-bikes have the systems built into the hub or into the crank. But this one has really bridged that gap. I've ridden quite a few of those e-bikes with the hub-driven systems, and they do feel a little more, it feels like, oh, I'm definitely on an e-bike. And this is definitely not, I'm gonna do the sidewalk for a second here. This is definitely not a really good e-bike experience. But on this bike, with this new system, it's really exceptional. It really feels about as close as you're gonna get to like one of those crank-driven systems. Like I said, that's why I hate these sidewalks. They would be fun if you were on a skateboard or something. This is not the way. Hello. But yeah, it's integrated really well. especially on level 1. On level 1, it almost feels like it's not there at all. You'll notice it right at the beginning. It'll be like, ooh, that had a little bit of a assisting effect. Back tire felt flat right there. But ultimately, it feels really good and really natural. Definitely recommend this bike. I got this thing slightly used and saved quite a bit. But I will say, I think this thing new is maybe $3,200 or $3,300, something like that. Which I guess is definitely a little pricey if you're looking for like an entry-level bike like I was. If you're really into biking, you're gonna you know that that's nothing for a road bike. But in my case, for the price I got it at, it looks like a really good opportunity for me to replace my daily commuter. And it's worked perfectly. Run all my errands, trips to work. Like I said, I really hate this section of the commute. We get to some private roads here soon-ish. Just to give you an idea, we're at 2.14 miles. And we're coasting on this downhill at about 23 miles an hour, 24, 25, something like that. I want to say the pedal assist. I guess I'll wait just a second. The pedal assist is, I think it gets you up to like 20 or 25 miles an hour, one of the two. I think it might be 20, but it really feels like 25 when it comes to your natural pedaling. And getting this bike up to 30 miles an hour is really not, it's not that big a deal. It's not that hard, actually. But I will say, this bike is nice for commuting and like casually going around town, stuff like that. But, and I recommend it to almost anyone that's looking for one of these. Like, I think as far as like bang for your buck in the e-bike space, if you're looking for like a really well integrated system, this is a really great setup. But if you're a really, really experienced biker, and you get out and you go on those like 30, 40 mile rides, 50 mile rides all the time, and you're a really strong rider, I really don't think I'd recommend this bike. The assist is obviously super nice, but you're probably gonna have better components on your bike for the same price. And if you're a strong rider, I think this e-bike system might end up hindering you a little bit. Because after you hit 20 miles an hour, or maybe 25, you're going to be working quite a bit harder. Against this heavier bike to get to those 30 miles an hour cruising speeds you like. So I don't know, it's a little bit of a trade-off. What I do think this bike would probably be excellent for if you are a super strong rider. And like I said, I think this bike's probably for most people. But I'm kind of just trying to think about the strong riders out there. But anyway, if you are a strong rider, it seems like this would be a really good bike for your significant other that doesn't ride, or a close friend or something that doesn't ride. Because this can get them on those 30 mile an hour or 30 mile rides with you. It'll get them out there with you and they'll have a good time. And when they get back, they're not going to be just dead. And they're going to have a good time. And I know that's got to be, matter of fact, that might be a market that's bigger than a lot of the, that might be a pretty big market for something like this. So it eases up a little bit up here. There's actually a really dangerous intersection coming up But it eases up a little here, and I say that because I actually have a proper bike lane here, which is not, doesn't mean a lot, because it's still not safe. But what I was saying earlier, as far as this not being like a bike-friendly portion of the city, it's not necessarily that the people aren't friendly to bikers, it's just the roads aren't really set up for bikers at all. And that's okay. So, this commute is roughly 10 miles. I think it's like 9.9 or 9.8 miles. And just to give you an idea, we're 4 miles in, and I've biked for a little while, so I would say I'm in decent shape, but I'm not in good shape by any means. And with that being said, my heart rate's 119 right now, so if that kind of gives you any idea. I'm like 5'9", and I weigh like 195 pounds, so you can imagine I've got like 30 pounds to lose. So as far as, and I'm on level 2. I'm leaving it on level 2 for this ride. It seems like I can leave it on level 2, and I can get to work and back. I can get to, I had to look backwards there. I can get to work and back in about a good time. I'm not sweaty, and by the time I get home, I have like 2 bars left on my bike. 2 out of 5 bars. So I don't know how many miles that would be. I need to add it up one day. Might be more than I thought. And additionally, this thing does have 5 bars. I'll try and tilt this camera down a little bit so maybe you can see. 5 green bars. And we're still at 5. I gotta be careful around this bridge. It gets a little tight. Other than that, we're doing okay. Cruising along. Just to give you an idea, we're on a flat surface. I'm going like 20, or more like 19 miles an hour. And I'm pedaling at like a cool down rate. So some nice mountain bikes. Like a Specialized, those are actually e-bikes. That's cool. There's some e-mountain bikes. I've been seeing a lot of those around here. If you know anything about the Chattanooga, Tennessee area, you'll probably know there's some really, really good, somebody's turning right here, so I gotta watch for that. There's some really, really good cross-country style mountain bike trails. We don't have a lot of like hardcore downhill stuff where I say that, but there's actually a couple of them being built. But if you're really into cross-country mountain biking, kind of longer range with kind of a shorter fork travels and such, Chattanooga is a great area. So. I really love this section of the commute up here because I get a really nice wide sidewalk of some kind. It's like the size of a lane for a vehicle almost. It's freshly paved. I don't have to be near all these cars out here. Here, or if I should cross now. Nah, I'll just cross up here. Hopefully this camera angle works out. I'm not sure. Also, I apologize if the audio quality is really bad. But I wanted to give you guys kind of an update because it seemed like the last video was super helpful to a lot of people. I guess something I could address is the light situation. It seems like almost every comment in the last video was talking about me needing lights, which is super fair and super valid. I will say that I did have a couple of backlights, and then a couple of my backpack that are really loud and obnoxious. But I definitely didn't have any front lights, and it was definitely too dark to be out there without any substantial amount of light, so that problem has been solved though. I do have a front light. Obviously, I feel like it's definitely too light it's bright enough out here where I don't need that, but I've got plenty of backlights. I've got the Varia, I think it's called the Varia 515 on the back, and I actually really recommend that that brake light for anybody out there that's potentially on the fence with it. It's really nice. It kind of changes its flash patterns whenever a car's up behind you. I think this turns green. I'll be able to beat those awesome people there. Yeah. Beat that. But yeah, it flashes when somebody's behind you at a different rate. And also, my head unit's off right now because I don't know why. I should have probably turned it on, but maybe that's okay because it would have beeped at us the whole time. But it's nice on little back roads because it'll actually, on my head unit here, it'll beep and show where the car is coming up behind me, how fast it's coming up. And it gives me, it'll give you like 10 to 15 seconds to figure out what you want to do. If you're in a safe spot, or if you need to pull over a little bit, or if you want to stop completely and get off to the side. It's really helpful. And even practically, if it's not the most helpful, which I think it is, it's worth it just for peace of mind alone. There's something nice about being able to ride and kind of have a good idea of what's behind you without stressing out or thinking about who's behind you and who's coming up and how close they are to me, or are they upset or whatever the case might be. It's nice to know you can just you kind of know what's going on back there without having to turn your head around every few minutes. This is the sidewalk I was talking about. It's quite nice. But yeah, like I said, I'm going into the office. I work from home now. I work for a digital marketing agency downtown Chattanooga, or not really downtown, but kind of on the outskirts. And like I said, it's about a 9 or 10 mile commute. I usually make this commute like once a week, maybe sometimes twice a week. There's some meetings or something like that, but it's kind of a nice commute. It's a nice little, it's not a bad little commute here. I also really don't like crossing this intersection. Ooh, spiderweb. I don't like crossing this intersection because the people in this lane right across from me, and rightfully, I mean, I imagine I would do the same thing, but they don't really notice the people crossing because, first of all, the sun's in their face. There's 3 or 4 other lanes to look out for. There's just a lot of stuff to keep an eye on besides somebody rarely crossing this intersection. The spiderweb is all over me, man. But yeah, as far as components on the bike, I think it's got like it's pretty standard. It's got like your 105s. Also, I think I was supposed to cross there and I totally missed it. It's got the Shimano 105s. Pretty good brakes. My only complaint with the bike as far as rideability is these tires. They actually seem quite good, generally. But man, I've gotten so many flats. So many punctures and flats on this thing. I think it feels like once a month or less. I'm swinging by my local REI and having them put a new tube in. Thankfully, the REI is right next to where I live, so it's convenient for sure. These 3 people are turning. Oh, 4 people, never mind. I was gonna say, maybe I could go after them, but it's promising. Now they have a train line. I'm not crossing anytime soon. But yeah, the REI is kind of nice. You just get a lifetime membership, and they'll put new tubes in you for like $5 or something. A little enough amount that I don't want to. I really don't feel like doing it myself, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna cross here. This seems safe enough. Nobody's coming either side. There's my opportunity anyway. All right, cool. Well, I think we're a little over halfway actually. It says we've done 5.5 miles and we've been riding for 19.5 minutes, something like that. Which I don't think it counts in our stops, so probably a little longer than that. What time is it? Let's see. It's 8:15 in the morning. It's so nice out here. It feels really good. Yeah, I have a cross, but yeah, okay, still clear. Cool. It's a really nice day out here today, though. It's definitely hot in the area right now. I think it's so it's August. What is today? August like 17th or something. August 21st. It's definitely hot. But we've had a couple of good weekends. I think last weekend was in like the low 80s or something, which was really nice. But ultimately, it's pretty hot. The ride in the morning's nice, but the ride in the afternoon is sometimes pretty hot. And also we're still at 5 bars on our e-bike power. Which I guess would make sense. I wonder, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to cross here. Ooh, that's a dead animal. I'm just gonna stop right here in the middle of the road because that seems like a great idea. I'm gonna cross after this BMW. Okay, I was gonna let him cross, but it seems like people. It always feels so bad. I don't want to be like that biker tool guy. I feel like road bikers, especially in this area, have earned such a bad rep because it's just, they're always, and I get it, like it's your right to ride wherever you want on the road, and everybody's supposed to follow the traffic laws. But this is definitely not a biking city, and trying to like shoehorn your biker city will on it, and I don't I don't know, it's just, I don't think it's worth it. I don't know if it's safer, maybe it is to ride in the middle of the road, but I've seen too many people get hit by cars out of somebody being angry with them rather than on accident. And it seems like if you throw your backpack on like I've got, and you've got your shorts and t-shirt on like I've got, and not your biker clothes, and you're not riding in the middle of the road, people are super patient with you. I'm all for exercise, so if biking is your much preferred form of exercise and you live in Chattanooga, I almost recommend giving up the road bike situation unless you want to go out to Ottawa, or there's some nice areas in Collegedale, or potentially in the Hamilton Place area there is like the Enterprise South Nature Park with some nice roads. Other than that, get yourself a mountain bike. And matter of fact, you're probably going to have a lot more fun because the trails around here are really nice. I don't know, I had a group of friends that were into road biking. I had another group of friends, small group of people, mainly one guy that was really into mountain biking with me. And, you know, they both will say one is more fun than the other. And I will say, I enjoy a lot of aspects of both. I really like the road biking in the area. It just feels nice to kind of get out and have a different perspective on the roads and check some houses out and kind of go at a slower pace, see what people are up to. But in terms of fun and relaxation and just nice rides while also getting a good workout in, the mountain biking around here is definitely the best in my opinion. Swing by Enterprise South on your lunch break or something like that. Get a 45-minute or an hour mountain bike ride in. And it's so nice. All right, we're officially on back roads. And I think we'll be on back roads for the rest of the trip here. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, pretty much. Trip's kind of coming to a close a little bit. We've got maybe 2 or 3 miles left. And of course I forgot all of the things I wanted to bring to the office this morning, like my lunch, a drink of some kind. I forgot it all. That's okay. I am curious though if any of you all are looking to commute to work on a bike like this, if you're interested in a bike like this. What is it you do? Like, do you work from home? Or do you work really close to your office? In my last video, I had the Trek FX3, and it seemed like a lot of people were interested in that bike, and I can't recommend that bike enough. It's super comfortable. I don't remember which tires I had on it exactly. I think it was like some gator skin tires in the same factory size. And it was super fast for a bike like that, I feel like. Great bike as far as the price goes. Like, and I love that there was no front derailleur of any kind. It was just like the single cog up front with 10-speed, I think it was in the back. The 10-speed was plenty, and it was perfect for commuting. One of my biggest worries swapping to this bike was I was afraid that it wasn't going to be as comfortable, being that it's a little more aggressive and it's kind of got the drop bars and all that. But I must say, I've been pretty pleasantly surprised, because this thing is super, super comfortable, which I hear that a lot about the Domane being really comfortable and engineered really well as far as being a comfortable bike. But it's definitely true. It's a super comfortable bike, and especially if you want to ride up here on these bars like so, they're it feels, I mean, it feels about like my FX3. A little less work. Basically, I guess to give you an idea, a really casual ride like this on this bike now on the way to work is a very low cadence, kind of a cool down cadence almost. I can get to work in the same time as my FX3, trying to like PR it. Trying to like PR my office commute. Ends up being about the same time. And by PR the office commute on the FX3, I mean like really any section I can possibly get to ride really hard, I was. Which maybe doesn't speak so much to the bike, more, and probably might speak more to the kind of entry level or weak rider I am, but commuting on this bike is definitely a lot more pleasant. Not that that bike was a work, because if you're fine with it taking a little bit longer, that bike was plenty light. It felt plenty good. The other thing with the e-bike and commuting to work is you can always just throw your charger, like the bike charger, in your backpack. Just plug it up when you get it to the office. I haven't had to do that. I think one time I came kind of close, and it was one of those situations where it's like somebody wants to go downtown, or like somebody wants to hang out after work, and so maybe you take a much longer commute. Ends up being like a 30 or 40 mile thing. In those situations, it was like, ooh, yeah, I should have brought my charger because it's getting really low by the time I get home. But I never bring my charger. I'm honestly more worried about getting a flat than I am running out of e-bike. And that's another thing I guess I should mention while we're talking about it is the power. This bike is very, very rideable with the e-bike turned off completely. Like I said, it's like 28, 29, 30 pounds, something like that. Which I guess is quite a bit for a road bike, but ultimately when it's off, it's still super maneuverable. It's definitely a lot more sluggish now that I'm used to the power. But it's still super, super rideable. If I were to be 5 or 6 miles from home and my battery went out, I would be very comfortable finishing the ride without it. So that's worth mentioning too, I guess. Or maybe if you're looking for a really a really good workout, just turn it off and do your commute with it or something. Stop sign. I usually like to follow traffic laws, but this stop sign, there's never anybody here, which is not a good excuse, but it's usually got pretty good visibility so I can see if somebody's coming or not. But yeah, if you guys would like to see like a full video on this bike, or maybe something a little more in depth, definitely, definitely let me know, because I'd be happy to do it. Like I said, there doesn't seem like there's a ton of information out there. I've got a little bit of experience on it. Like I said, 500 or 600 miles, maybe a little more. It's kind of been my commuter for the last 5 or 6 months. And I must say, I've not missed my car. I think the only time I've missed my car in that last 5 or 6 months was I was going to visit a friend, and he lives like probably 30 or 40 miles away. Hopefully I can still go through here. 30 or 40 miles away. So in that case, it was definitely pretty rough. I didn't have to bike it. Thankfully my wife has a car and I was able to just use it. I just dropped her off at work, which thankfully she works close to our living space as well, so a lot closer than I do. We're almost there. We're at 8.6 miles. And we're just a little ways away. So I guess it is probably closer to a 9-mile ride rather than a 10. See what time it is. 8:28. Yeah. So we're looking pretty good. And we are coming up on it now. Alright So it's probably somewhat of a waste of a video, but I guess I wanted to just shoot something to hopefully give you guys an idea on what a commute would look like on a bike like this. Especially in the parts of the parts that I'm very loose here. But yeah, like I said, if you want to see a full video of it or you're interested in it, let me know and I'll make something. Other than that, you guys take it easy.